Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Real Film Talk. My name is Will Braunlich, and this show covers everything from movies to TV shows and editorials. We will take a look at two movies I got to see over the weekend, and both had similar experiences. We will be going over some of the newest movies to hit theaters, The Lost City and Sonic the Hedgehog 2. We will start with The Lost City. Here's my raw reaction for the trailer. All right, let's give this a go.
2, 1. Here's the
trailer
for The Lost City.
Here's the trailer for The Lost City.
Screw you, man.
You led me straight to the Lost City. Now, prepare to die.
There were just hundreds of snakes in this temple just waiting for us to show up.
What? Why aren't they biting that guy?
This is ridiculous. Delete.
See, that's clever. I think they should, why can't they, poke fun at those cliches?
Listen, Loretta, we need you to promote your new book on the Lost City. You can't spend your life in the bathtub drinking Chardonnay with eyes.
Ladies and gentlemen, the world's sexiest cover model, Dash McMahon!
You do know you're not Dash, right? Dash is a character I made up. Dash! Oh my God.
I like how completely oblivious he is.
Miss Sage, I enjoyed your book about the Lost City, and I believe you're the one who can help me find its treasure.
I have to respectfully decline.
I'm afraid I must insist.
I want to talk to you about the Lost City Initiative.
Loretta Sage is missing.
I'm gonna rescue her. I just want her to think of me as more than a cover model.
Let's start living dangerously.
Oh.
Alan? What are you
That's a
doing
couple of
here?
bruises right there.
I'm certified CPR, I'm certified CrossFit. I have snacks.
After them!
This is like your book. We're on a Lovemore and Dash adventure right now. I'm gonna help you out a little bit. Let's go.
What are you doing? Don't do
Gotta
that.
go.
Oh
Come
God,
on.
get out of there. This is not a romance novel. Jungles eat people like us.
Ah, what is that? Get it off.
Just give me a
Please.
second.
I can
Just
feel him
stop speaking. Please
sucking
stop
my
speaking.
Leeches.
Oh.
Why did it have to be leeches?
Don't make that sound. Feels like there's more.
Holy Mother of
more?
God.
Oh
Sucking on
boy.
my butt like a big old Jamba Juice.
We're so close. I could actually find the Lost City.
If I don't get to this island, my friend and her cover model are going to die.
That's quite a specific way of saying, my friends.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah, it's a wrecked car right there. And there's Mr. Brad Pitt. Kicking butt like always.
Loretta Sage, getting you out of here.
Why are you so handsome?
My dad was a weatherman.
Okay, I admit that was pretty
She
funny.
doesn't need saving in there.
Okay.
What are you doing in there?
She's in a wheelbarrow with explosions happening in the background. It looks very, very ridiculous. I don't really know what to make of it, in all honesty. It looks pretty stupid. It seems like a fun, simple adventure story. Maybe it'll actually, it would be very entertaining. Who knows? The Lost City is directed by the Nee brothers and stars Sandra Bullock and Channing Tatum. This movie tells the story of a romance/adventure novelist, Loretta Sage, played by Bullock, as she is going on a book tour with her cover model, Alan, played by Channing Tatum. When a rich tycoon kidnaps Loretta, he believes she can lead him to a lost treasure from one of her previous books, as Alan goes on a mission to save her. The Nee brothers are the new kids on the block when it comes to directing. They did some other projects, like The Last Romantic and Band of Robbers. However, this is their first movie with a much larger budget. Sandra Bullock is no stranger to the big screen, especially comedies with her roles in The Proposal and The Heat. She also has her fair share of drama roles too, like Gravity, Bird Box, and The Blind Side. Channing Tatum has been in a few comedies as well, like the Jump Street movies, the Lego movies, and some more recent projects like Free Guy and Dog. There's also Daniel Radcliffe playing the rich tycoon, who's most famously known for being Harry Potter. But he's been in other projects outside of the Wizarding world, like Swiss Army Man, Escape from Pretoria, and even had a role in The Simpsons, which he says he's an avid fan of. I went into this movie thinking I wasn't going to hate it, only to find myself having a lot of fun instead. The movie is very, very silly, but it's still very enjoyable. I think the movie acknowledges its goofiness. The script is simple, it's a lighthearted adventure with some romance added to the mix as well. It doesn't get complicated at all, and It even occasionally pokes fun at different adventure/romantic movie cliches while contributing to said cliches. The special effects were pretty solid. As stated before, this was the first big budget motion picture from the Nee brothers, with having a worldwide gross of $62 million and possibly counting. Many people say the chemistry between Bullock and Tatum is the best part of the movie, and they're actually right. They work off of each other very well, and we learn more about their characters as we go along. Bullock doesn't know if she wants to continue being an author after this book, and she has a backstory that really helps drive the plot forward. And Tatum has this huge fan base for being her cover model. He's not the brightest, but he's still very likable. We also have an extended cameo from Brad Pitt, and he's also a lot of fun too. Radcliffe is very over the top, but still very entertaining. He also has a backstory that makes him seem somewhat empathetic, but he's still made to be very unlikable. The plot makes sense for the most part. As stated before, it's very goofy. I think if you just don't use your brain that much, you'll have a great time with this. I'd say compared to other movies like this, like say Journey to the Center of the Earth or The Mummy, which we'll make a small comparison to, and the Jumanji movies, it's not as good as like others, but it's something that you'd be pleasantly surprised with and wanting to see more out of this whole adventure. Like I said before, I can't help but compare it to The Mummy with Brendan Fraser, summing it up as a good popcorn movie. No near masterpiece, but still fun for getting together with friends. My grade for The Lost City will be a B. I actually recommend seeing this movie in theaters because personally, I had such a good time with this that I would personally see more of if possible. Kind of like the new Jumanji movies, and I'm glad they're expanding on those more. When we come back, we'll take a look at the Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Welcome back to Real Film Talk. I'm Will Braunlich, and now we're going to take a look at the newly released Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Let's take a look at my reaction for the trailer. Let's take a look at Sonic.
These rings signify the commitment.
I'm Sonic. Sorry, I couldn't resist making that line.
I need you to use the ring to save me, like right now.
Oh my God.
Oh boy.
And
Just hope we're not too late.
Oh Lord, there are two of them now.
What's happening?
Okay, quick version. Robotnik is back.
I discovered the
it's a big sky beam.
ultimate power.
We need to get it back or the world is doomed.
No.
You rock some kind
Here he is.
space porcupine.
I am an echidna warrior.
Oh, Jim Carrey, you are a treasure.
Hedgehog.
It's time to
Unlimited power! Oh, there was the Chaos Emerald.
Welcome to the new norm.
Tails!
This is your moment to be the big hero.
Bad time to say this, but I don't actually have a plan. Hey, you got a little something?
We're just
in your-
winging it.
Boy.
Someone call an Uber?
It's cold in here. Let's turn up the heat.
You were saying? Looks almost like a Sonic video game.
Soldier. Fear not, citizen.
You are terrible at this!
Your negative attitude is not helping.
We stick together.
There he is. Knuckles.
You're unskilled.
Oh, Idris Elba, your voice is like amazing.
Unworthy.
You forgot one. Unstoppable.
Okay, so I actually think this looks a little bit more interesting than The Lost City, mainly because it actually looks like a Sonic video game, because the first Sonic movie was like kind of more of a buddy comedy. This one, you know, it has temples, it has emeralds, it has iconic characters like Knuckles, Robotnik, and Tails. I think this is pretty much what a video game movie should technically look like. And it looks like they are bringing in the human characters from the first movie back and bringing in some additional faces, some new faces. Yeah, I think this actually could be something, if not maybe a little bit better than the first one. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is once again directed by Jeff Fowler and once again stars Ben Schwartz, Jim Carrey, and James Marsden, and brings in new faces like Idris Elba doing the voice of Knuckles and Colleen O'Shaughnessy as the voice of Tails. She also did the voice of Tails in the video games. This movie follows the events from the first Sonic movie as we see the return of the criminally insane Dr. Robotnik, who aligns with a new threat for Sonic and is up to the heroic Blue Hedgehog and his new friend Tails to stop the threat. Like the Lost City, the first Sonic the Hedgehog movie was something I thought I wouldn't really get into. And while I didn't think the Sonic the Hedgehog is anything spectacular, I still had a good time with it. I guess I would call myself a casual fan of the Sonic universe. I know enough from the cartoons to the video games, and when it was announced that we were getting a Sonic movie, I was very skeptic since, unfortunately, video game-based movies don't always get the best reputation. But with Pokemon Detective Pikachu doing moderately well, I gave the video game movies the benefit of the doubt once again, especially when it seems like the new Uncharted movie is doing well. There was also another criticism of the first movie, and it was before it was even released, and that was the design of Sonic himself. When the first trailer came out, we saw Sonic for the first time, people went nuts, saying it looks nothing like him and how awkward he looked. However, Paramount promised everybody he would look like himself in the final cut, and he actually did. And this won over a decent amount of critics and audiences, as well as avid fans of the Sonic franchise. With that being said, let's talk about this new movie. I overall like this. Jeff Fowler returns to take control of directing duties, and thanks to him, video game movies are on a comeback, hopefully. Ben Schwartz returns to do the voice of Sonic and is great casting in my opinion. He's also been a part of the sitcom Parks and Recreation, and did some other movies like the more recent Star Wars movies and the Lego Movie 2. Idris Elba brings his talent as Knuckles. I think they did really well in bringing this character to the big screen. He's oblivious to other things going on around him, and I can't help but compare this version of Knuckles to Drax from Guardians of the Galaxy. And I mean that in the best way possible. Knuckles never fails to get a laugh whenever he's on screen, especially when he's with Robotnik. But we'll get to him soon. The character of Tails is, once again, as stated before, brought to us by the same woman who did the voice of him in the video games, and also gave us the voice of Jazz from the hit Nickelodeon show Danny Phantom. And last but not least, let's talk about the man, the myth, the legend himself. Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik. Carrey is very famous for his rubbery body movements and flexible facial expressions, and he really gives it his all portraying the madman scientist. This was probably the most Jim Carrey that Jim Carrey has ever done. Should this be the end of his acting career, he's had quite a run and quite a way to end it. The script is good, mostly. There is an issue I had with it, and that being, I felt like this movie seemed to lack a bit of balance. There's a side story of James Marsden and Tika Sumpter's characters going to Hawaii for a wedding, and while we have this big, great adventure featuring all these well-known Sega video game characters, each time we cut to the humans, it almost feels like we entered a completely different movie. Now, I'm not saying the human characters had no impact on the story, even though there is one segment involving the humans I personally wish they expanded on more. The special effects were good, if not improved from the first movie, and they expanded it by bringing all these new characters and elements that help drive the story. It almost feels like it's coming straight out of an actual Sonic video game. The chemistry between the actors was solid. Sonic and Tails being the iconic video game best buds, Sonic being the naive but fun-loving goofball he is, and Tails being brought into a completely new environment and using all of his state-of-the-art technology to help him and Sonic on their journey. As stated before, Knuckles with Robotnik almost doesn't feel like bringing out a laugh, and I really mean this when I say this. Like The Mask, I think the role of Robotnik was a role Jim Carrey was born to play. As for Idris Elba, the same goes for him. He did some other work, like the Thor movies, the Suicide Squad, Beasts of No Nation, The Losers, and Pacific Rim. I actually think everybody was very well casted, nobody felt off, and going back a little bit earlier when I said the characters almost didn't fail at bringing out a few laughs, I feel like some of the jokes are mostly hit and miss. Sometimes they reference other movies or even some real life celebrities, and well, sometimes those are clever. I feel like that became about 40% to almost half of their jokes. Some of the other times the comedy involves Sonic being involved with some crazy shenanigans or something having to do with the human characters, or it could be Knuckles being exposed to something that's completely new to him. Almost exactly like a fish out of water type of story, and that's almost like what the first Sonic movie was like. The story made sense, also mostly. My main takeaway from the movie overall is while it is marketed more towards fans of the Sonic franchise, because I think they will be very happy with this one, I think it's also directed towards a younger audience. Compared to the first movie, I'd say it's on the same level, if not a little bit better than. Not a perfect movie, and it might not break a whole lot of records, but it should be a big hit with the kids. I think if you or your kid love Sonic, I think you'd really enjoy this, and it's a great time for the whole family. It definitely has heart, humor, has the spirit of the games, and it keeps a cliched message about friendship and family to be pretty effective. Like The Lost City, my grade for Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is a B. I personally recommend seeing this movie in theaters because while it is taking baby steps in reviving movies based on video games, they're baby steps in the right direction, and I'd like to see them expand more on this universe. Also, this doesn't involve spoilers, but there is a mid-credit scene that I recommend sticking around for, especially if you're a fan of the franchise. That does it for this episode of Real Film Talk, and I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. Until next time, this is Will Braunlich, and I will see you at the movies. Save a seat for me.
Funding for Simsbury Community Television is provided in part by contributions from viewers like you. Thank you.